As crypto markets continue to the downside, there are two things that I know right now as I start this video. Number one, most analysts have been wrong about this bull market if we're going to continue into a bear market. Number two, opportunity has just arrived. What's up, everyone? Welcome to Crypto Capital Venture. Hit the subscribe and like on the way in. I said most analysts. That includes myself, by the way. I want to throw that out there. I appreciate everybody hanging out with me in this live stream. So first off, I get it. Bitcoin price extends drop after China intensifies crypto lockdown. There's some on-chain metrics I want to talk about. But real quick, before I start here, I just want to mention this. Most analysts, this is what's kind of crazy right now. Most analysts have basically, from the beginning of this bull market to most recently, have basically said probably maybe the end of summer, fall, end of this year, maybe even into 2022, that will be the end of the bull market. Not right here, not April. That was nobody. I don't think anybody was saying April, and maybe there was somebody out there. I certainly wasn't. I charted this back in 2018. This is a chart I charted. I should have stuck with this. I changed this. I don't know, probably after we entered the bull market. I basically said I think the bull market will go maybe into fall or the end of this year. I should have left it how I had it since, 2018 at the bear market low when I charted it right here. Because I had it kind of ending around 90,000, potentially swing high, right around where Bitcoin has ended. Now, I want to preface everything we're about to talk about by saying this. This demonstrates one thing. Number one, nobody anticipated, right? Nobody anticipated the strength and the velocity in which Bitcoin was going to enter this bull market. And this entire thing demonstrates that at the end of the day, and this is so important, especially for my haters out there that just love to hate on me with their comments. Nobody knows what is going to happen next. Nobody knows. And everything that is happening right now, it perfectly demonstrates that from multiple different angles. Number one, if we're entering a bear market, this throws most analysts, data out the window if that happened, right? But number two, even amidst the questioning of entering a bear market, is Bitcoin going to go lower? Nobody knows if actually Bitcoin's going to bounce here and continue to the upside. That's what's so crazy about all of this. But I digress from all that, and I just say this. Bitcoin has dipped 50%. Altcoins likewise. The opportunity has arrived. And I tweeted this a little bit ago. Bitcoin has already dipped 50%. The opportunity's begun. You're either in this long term or you're not. It's best to make that decision now. If long, then plan how to scale in your accumulation. The discount will come and go just like every other time. This entire move right now so far, everybody in the comments on Twitter and YouTube, the analyst YouTube videos, my own thoughts running through my own head, it really does remind me of like back here, the beginning of the last bear market. I'm not saying that because I'm just like, hey guys, this is it. Get ready for $10,000 Bitcoin. I always say to get ready for that, but I'm just saying that because the whole sentiment, the whole vibes of crypto right now, the negativity, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, it's just there. Like it's screaming like in our faces right out of social media crypto. And my objective for me personally, and I want to share this with you, is just ignore it. Nobody knows what will happen next. And my YouTube channel, since we started this in the bear market high, the bull market high into the bear market, the premise has been to be prepared, not to predict. And that's what we're here for. And it has served us so well. And so here we are, and I want to talk about this. Weekly on-chain metrics, the Bitcoin market continues to show relative weakness in both price and on-chain activity. Simultaneously, a seismic shift is underway in the Chinese mining markets as multiple regions enforce bans on the industry. Everybody hit that like on the way in. I appreciate you cruising by. So this is extremely relevant to one thing, opportunity. And this is my opinion. This is the macro long-term view of Bitcoin and crypto right now. Supply and spending behavior. From a macro perspective, there are remarkable similarities to the 2017 macro peak in regards to the balance of supply held by long and short-term holders. After reaching peak hodl, both cycles demonstrated a macro distribution event as BTC wealth is transferred from long-term to short-term holders. That's at the peak. After the top was put in, we have started to see the opposite effect, where long-term holders stop spending and begin reaccumulating despite their coins often falling into unrealized loss. So here's the chart, and this is in my thumbnail. Accumulation, it's here. It's begun. Bitcoin's dipped 50%. You better believe there's accumulators accumulating. There are people that aren't even on social media, arguing with each other whose altcoin is better, arguing about, why Bitcoin destroys every altcoin. There are just simply people out there, believe it or not, in the world accumulating right now, taking the opportunity to accumulate because Bitcoin just dipped 50%. They're ignoring the noise. And I'm like you. I like the social media aspect. Obviously, I create content. I'm here. I have to get good at ignoring the noise. The fact remains, the accumulation period has begun. And it's very much illustrated on Bitcoin metrics. You can see it on this chart. It's very similar to the beginning of the last bear market. That's true. But I want to say this. We entered this bull market in November. Nobody anticipated the strength and velocity, right? And if the bull market ended here, nobody, at least that I know of, anticipated that it would last so short. And so it is. If you see people saying how long the bear market will last or how long or how low Bitcoin's going to go, I just say kind of throw it out the window. The best that any of us can do at this very moment is anticipate every scenario. We can use technical analysis because it 100%, in my opinion, is still in play. It still works. That's probably the most reliable data besides on-chain metrics. But other than that, ignore the rest. So let's talk about this. Bitcoin right now on this chart, we're still hovering at a 1618. I'm not going to talk about upside. I'm not here to offer hopium. We'll continue to track the short-term charts. If Bitcoin makes some kind of awesome move off the apex of this descending triangle, a bounce of sorts, we'll talk about potential reversal. But on the short term, Bitcoin's already broken our short-term, resist or support area, this green channel, and we're in the apex. There's a breakout target of this descending triangle into like the $22,000 area. I know there's analysts talking about a head and shoulders on the weekly. The breakout target for that, I think was, I don't know. I think it was all the way down here below 20,000. It's all there, right? But this is the thing. If accumulation has begun, why even care about, what anybody's saying other than what your own plan should be? And in each person in this chat right now, we got 2,700 people in here. 500 likes, everybody. Let's get this to 1,000 likes. I appreciate you. Trying to get those algorithms bullish on Crypto Capital Venture. Everybody's unique. Everybody's situation is unique. I don't know, and I'm not sitting here telling you start accumulating now, buy Bitcoin now. I'm just saying the opportunity is we're entering that opportunity. You zoom out on a Bitcoin chart, you can see Bitcoin right here, not oversold at all, but cooled off extremely from the overbought area, right? And we're hovering at this area now, very similar to the middle of the last bear market right here. Remember, it was painful doing videos every day during this period. And on the RSI momentum oscillator, we're in that vicinity. And so we're already 50% down. Bitcoin opportunity has appeared. And I want to talk about what accumulation might look like. And this is my approach. I'm not telling you everybody what to do. This is my approach. So here's that inverse head and shoulders here's the head and shoulders target around $16,000 that many people are talking about if it happens. Interestingly enough, I want to show you, it falls into just probably the most important channel on the zoomed out charts, at least for me. This is my data. This is what I do. Take it or leave it. I'm not telling you all what to do. Swing low of the bear market low now to swing high, all-time high. We have this Fibonacci macro channel. It's 26,000 to around 16,000. Interestingly enough, there's that head and shoulders target right into that channel. I want to show you something because there's a really important thing to add to that data. If we zoom out and we look at, and this is how we identified the last bear market low. You know, I said I charted this at the bear market bottom in 2018, this entire zoomed out chart. This is exactly how I did it. We go back to this weekly chart and we can chart the Fibonacci from the bear market low of 2015 to that last bull market high. And we had this Fibonacci that Bitcoin fell into. This is also where accumulation really, truly began. And we fell below the 786, and this was the mass bottom accumulation area for Bitcoin. And so it is. I will say that from my approach, my eyes are set on these areas. That is the $26,000 to $17,000 or $16,000 area. And then just anything below that is just ridiculous bargain discount that I don't even know will hold, right? And we're talking about down to like $10,000, anything below the 786. That's it. This is the extreme technical analysis, everybody. And what's really funny is if you look at this chart right now, I said it before, who knows? Bitcoin can bounce here. And I know I'm going to get the commenters that are like, you know, you're basically saying price can go up or down. How is that helpful? You need to tell your people, your viewers, to buy or sell. And that is just the most ridiculous thing. And I get this comment all the time, especially now that, you know, crypto's down. All I can do is do what I do for myself, everybody, is just prepare for these scenarios. These are my comfortable accumulation areas, right? And the same thing was kind of happening in the last bear market. And you have to have, you know, resilience, a bit of conviction in these markets, and just simply a plan that meets your... All I see is just these spammers in the comments. Buy, sell. I can't even get rid of this dude. This is crazy, man. Sorry, everybody. This is what, I mean, these people, like, who is this guy? Like, it's insane. Can you guys stop spamming the comments? Man, oh man. All right. So this is my approach, everybody. And I really wanted to share it with you. I'm just so tired of the emotion, the negativity on social media. It's crypto, everybody. It's volatile. Nobody knows what's going to happen. And the fact is, Bitcoin on-chain metrics, you know, reveal that accumulation period has begun. And this is what I'm looking at. This is if it happens, and trust me, I'm going to be tracking, you know, we're going to pivot. Probably next Bitcoin video will be a short-term video. We might bounce here. Like, that's what's so funny about all of this. And yeah, somebody said, hit the like. Thank you. Hit the like on the way in. What's funny about this, we might bounce here, and sentiment, all we need is probably 15-20% bounce, and sentiment is, we're back in the bull market, everybody. So disregard the emotion, prepare for the worst, everybody. That's all I wanted to say. Long story short, 50% discount on Bitcoin so far, and that could become greater. If you go to the weekly chart, I just want to show you something. If Bitcoin falls into this entire area of accumulation, the Fibonacci macro, you know, that's 50% more of a dip to the 786. How do you want to scale into that? There's no guarantees we even fall to 16,000. But how do you want to scale into it? Where are you comfortable? That's the question. That's what you want to analyze. That's what you want to sit back, come up with a plan. But if you're long on crypto, just zoom out on a chart. There's a bigger story playing out on the screen. So let's pivot over to Bitcoin right now. Or I'm sorry, let's pivot over to Cardano right now. So Cardano, what is it? And what does the future hold for the green crypto? I just thought this was a really interesting talking point that just in the last week or so really seems to be getting traction. And these are just, I think these are both from today. These are two articles from today. Cardano energy efficient ADA could become even hotter in the summer. If you're long on ADA right now, everybody, smash that stinking like button. Cardano exemplifies third generation of crypto. As long as the crypto bull market moves ahead, this energy-efficient altcoin is poised to remain a top crypto. The introduction of smart contracts should only push ADA USD price higher. even if there, even if there's a bear market that is straight ahead for the next few months, 6 months, whatever, this energy efficient altcoin is poised to remain top crypto. That's true as well. ADA BTC pair, just very impressive right now to me on the charts. Check this out. This was here's ADA BTC pair entering the last bear market. Here's ADA BTC pair, and this is going just since May. Look at this. Look at the strength. And notice Bitcoin actually putting in its high in April, right? So going back over here to the ADA BTC pair, Bitcoin putting in its high in April, somewhere down in this general vicinity. And look at ADA. And I think it says something, right? And this is such a new crypto. We don't even have data really of the last bull market, right? We have the end of the last bull market on this chart. And so this is so new and so hard to exactly predict and prepare for what might happen on this pair. But one thing that I know is if you go to, just a zoomed out chart right now, we all know what's happening. Cardano's building, I really truly think this, the most essential, the most fundamentally sound crypto right now. The ecosystem in Cardano is it has been being built. It's been being researched, right? And now it's being built. Staking mechanism in summer of 2020. We have smart contracts over here coming up in September, right here. We have, this is going to be, I'm telling you, this could be headline stuff right here. This whole talking point of energy efficient, especially as we have all of this debate about mining and the efficiency of Bitcoin and the energy debate and stuff. And that's not a diss at Bitcoin at all. I'm just saying that ADA is gonna I think steal some headlines in terms of what they're doing, what Cardano is doing right now. And so that's why this ADA BTC chart is really interesting. And again, I don't know. Cardano can very well, another 50% dip probably leads us probably right around here. Let me see. 50% dip against Bitcoin right now will lead us all the way actually right around here, right? And even so, from the low that we just had in December 2020, look at this higher low area for Cardano. So it's just going to be really fun to track this over the coming months, no matter what crypto markets are doing, because I just think there's such strength on the Cardano charts. But I digress from that, and I kind of just want to talk briefly about, what I just talked about for Bitcoin. The very worst of it. And just as Bitcoin accumulation has begun, it's just on-chain metrics have suggested it. All the people that are on social media that you see arguing with each other and arguing about bull market versus bear market, they're just buying. There's just people out there just buying Bitcoin and they're going back to their day, right? And I think that's what many of us should do, is kind of adopt that mentality. Obviously, for me, I'm creating some content here, so it's not as easy for me to do that, but trust me, I've been trying. I run a recruiting firm outside of this. I've been trying to focus on all that stuff a little bit more and just stop getting wrapped up in, the whole debate about crypto markets right now, because it's ridiculous. All I know is the opportunity has begun once again. Cardano has dipped, right, from that swing high right here. I'm really zoomed out here on the daily, but you get it, 50%. Accumulation has begun. Opportunity is here. And now, same thing with Bitcoin, what I just did. We have a bear market low, and we don't have any prior cycle data for Cardano to this high, $2.50. And now we have this Fibonacci on the macro. We charted this before. It's around $1 at the 618 to around 50. Let's just call it 56 cents at the 786 to 98 cents at the 618. That's that area that we just looked at on the Bitcoin chart for potential just mass accumulation phase, right? Here's what it looks like on Bitcoin, and here is what it looks like on Cardano on the daily chart. Now, for Cardano to drop even to the 786 line, we're looking at 50+% dip, right? Now, there are just people, and there's so many of you I know in the comments even right now that are just like, give me that price. And I'm talking about a mass accumulation phase in this channel that literally just in February, this past February, we were just entering. Like we were just breaking that. So I'm talking about like a huge dip. Ultimately, actually, let's talk about this. from the all-time high to, let's say, the 786, I'm talking about a 77% dip to prices not seen since February. That's how bullish Cardano is. That's the upward trajectory that Cardano is in right now. And there's opportunity there all the way into that area. And again, this is my approach. I'm not trying to just tell you or influence you on what to do. I'm providing data on what I think are interesting accumulation areas, and this is probably the most interesting. And I don't know how Cardano is going to interact. Like if we get a dip, if Bitcoin falls and cryptos continue down, and the fear and the uncertainty and the doubt continues in crypto markets, with smart contracts on the way and everything happening within Cardano ecosystem, it'll be very interesting to see what happens in terms of how long does Cardano last in that general vicinity. This was last week. I talked about if Cardano did what it did last time, right? Or even what Ethereum did, I think 95% to the downside, 12-cent Cardano in the most ridiculous of bearish environments. That would be a 95% dip. And I just think, and even Bitcoin, the way it has interacted with this bull market, I just think we're in different markets now. I don't think we can just say, hey, this happened last time, it's going to happen this time. We have to be very cautious when we're doing things like that and we're tracking historical data. But that's why these Fibonacci's and these areas are so important. And we're at like 22 minutes in this video, and I haven't even talked about the RSI. I really haven't even talked about the momentum oscillators in terms of Bitcoin and Cardano zoomed out. And we can actually, let's go to the weekly Cardano oscillator, and you can just see how just cooled off Cardano has been, and Bitcoin likewise. If we let's go to the weekly chart. I just want to take a glance at where Bitcoin is on the weekly. So here's Bitcoin on the weekly chart, zoomed out, and just look at this. I mean, Bitcoin in that March capitulation of 2020, you might remember, we're pretty close to that area. That's how much from this all-time high RSI, we're entering that area, that general vicinity. So you want to be ready, and we could very well break to this area, or even the bear market low of 2018 to the 30 on this RSI. We're at 42 right now. If we get that break to the downside, you want to prepare now, because this is a weekly chart. You have a little bit of time. If we get this break to the downside, man, I don't even know. And then what's very interesting is we have this potential, the symmetrical triangle Bitcoin broke away from. Imagine if Bitcoin actually falls right back above that area and then continues on. I mean, there's just so many interesting things on the macro long-term view that just offer one very simple thing, and that's opportunity for people that are keen on accumulating. And that's really what this video is for. So that's what Cardano looks like, 95% to the downside. And things like the weekly breaking, this 20-week moving average, not good. We can flip bullish again on the short to midterm if somehow Cardano closes above $1.33 above this 20-week moving average. That would be very interesting. But I wanted to do this video to talk about the fact that there are people out there accumulating, everybody. And I'm not saying that to say you better start accumulating. I'm just saying ignore the noise, and oftentimes ignore the analysts, ignore the people that are just trying to state charts as facts, because nobody knows. Again, 95% of people, including myself, if this was the bull market high for Bitcoin, 95% of people, including myself, analysts, wrong, right? Many of us were saying, I think fall, end of this year, maybe even 2022, $200,000 Bitcoin. I did a video on that. Maybe when we're entering the bull market or shortly thereafter. And if Bitcoin doesn't bounce soon and continue into this bull market, many of us wrong. And that's okay, right? That was 100% an opinion. I wasn't stating it as fact. But I think at the very least, what we can do now is prepare for accumulation. Bitcoin, Cardano down 50%. So, somebody said institutions go after volume, but mentioning institutions, don't forget about institutions. Don't forget about who on a larger scale is buying Bitcoin right now and will be buying massive amounts of Bitcoin if Bitcoin actually enters this macro Fibonacci accumulation area, the same exact area that Bitcoin entered in that last bear market. You know, just think about that. Think about that. So those are my thoughts. This was a longer video than I wanted to do. I gotta get back to work, everybody. I gotta go make some moves. Prepare. Take my data for what it's worth and simply prepare and try not to get wrapped up. And I'm speaking to myself. Don't get wrapped up in the fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the negativity of it all. It's numbers, everybody. This is currency. It's money. There's manipulation happening behind the scenes, yes. But as we start approaching oversold, as Bitcoin and Cardano, you know, plummet, and there is fear, it's where opportunity has begun to present itself. So, you know, be very, very prepared for those things. Be very prepared. And this is my approach. It's about accumulation for the long term. If you're out there and you're like, should I sell now and buy in, in a month or two? You're crazy. I don't adopt that, you know. Of course, my thing on the way up is when to take profits. I highly encourage taking profits. If you're in profit, explore what that looks like for you in your life. But selling to try and trade and buy back lower, it's not my thing. So appreciate all of you. Hit the subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Hit that like button on the way out. It means a lot to me. Let's see what happens today. Do an update video if anything crazy or interesting happens. Have a good rest of the day. God bless.